When I look on the internet at the news around the world, I am filled with fear. It remains a dangerous time. And then I look at New Zealand, and we're doing okay here. Borders and the boundaries are still there, and there's still a blurring. I'm in lockdown. I can't find a quiet place to make an academic film. I can hear my husband is doing the dishes and my toddler is whinging about something. We're starting to see that New Zealand's actions to close the borders and go into lockdown so quickly have really made a huge impact in the numbers that we're now seeing in our hospitals. We've only had one death so far, which is pretty amazing. People are doing an incredible job of looking after those who need help. And the numbers are very small at the moment. We've just got 15 people in hospital and intensive care.
I got pufferfish. I got a few pufferfish, but some of them died because they popped out, so that's why I put dirt on top of it.
Oh, that is clever.
So no other fish pops out and die.
And then they'll just be happy in there, eh?
Yeah. There's a fish.
And you know what's cool is that you've got this fish tank right beside a waterfall, and the fish tank is right beside our actual fish tank.
Hi,
Hi,
just getting a cup of tea.
good idea.
Grandma is going to show the Christmas.
That's a great idea. We should definitely show Grandma the Christmas tree. She'll love that. She'll love that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Also consider the lockdown in terms of Van Gennep's seminal work of 1909, Rites of Passage. He says each larger society contains within it several distinctly separate groupings. In addition, all these groups break down into smaller societies in subgroups. And as we break down smaller and smaller into our own little bubbles, we are finding ways to go through these rites of passage. We could see that the lockdown is a rite of passage in itself, that we're transitioning from one state to another. We are transitioning from a state of high risk of contagion spread and pandemic in New Zealand and high rates of associated death into a lockdown so that we can avoid that. During the lockdown there are lots of taboos, and there are ways, socially constructed rules of governing what happens during the lockdown, which is also in alignment with what Van Gennep talked about 100 years ago. There are rules around we can't go fishing, hug people who are not in our bubble. There's taboos about sharing food with friends and all kinds of stuff. But then when we come out of the lockdown, those taboos will be lifted, and our sense of the risk will be much lower because of what we've done to protect each other. We've got our first feijoas of the season.
Oh, I love feijoas.
same.
Where are you getting those from? Is there a tree outside of your place? Or
$8 a kilo we paid at the supermarket, but
that's not bad.
it is Kuru's favourite fruit other than blueberries. And
I was a blueberry king when I was a baby.
you were the blueberry.
And it's never too late to just metamorphosize. This little guy has been turning into a frog for the last couple of days. He's been letting his front legs out, and you can see he's actually achieved that with one leg has come out today. And he'll wiggle the other leg out today, and then he'll be a frog tomorrow.
So why don't we do a funny face? Have you got a funny face? Nona's, I bet Nona's got a funny face.
Like Nona's one. Do it again, Nona.
Kiara's got a really funny face. I'll have to get her to do it for everybody.
Where is she?
Kiara's got a...
It's a blurred boundaries because I'm trapped in a particular space and the sounds are blurring in and out. Oh, here we go again. Give me a kiss?
No.
Oh, no. Hi, Shady Shimmer.
Shady Shimmer's doing pretty well in this thing.
Yeah,
Really well.
it's so beautiful, isn't he?
She is. Agreed.
Culture. I still feel a bit of Mary Douglas speaking to me in terms of risk, purity and danger whenever I cough. But what I was actually planning to say before I had that cough just then was that culture is shared meanings, experiences, behaviours, ideas, practices. And we have a culture, like a subculture in New Zealand around Covid-19 and how we respond to it. And the culture does involve things like the way that we now behave when we go supermarket shopping and what we do with our groceries, our ideas about what it means to look after one another and to get through this. And I think COVID-19 has given us an opportunity to reflect as individuals on what's important, and as a society, as a culture, about the story we want to tell ourselves later. It's very important that we start telling ourselves this story now. Finally, I can do a bit of art.